Good morning. We are now up to Psalm 18. It's Monday, and Psalm 18 is actually large enough for us to break into three parts. And I know you're probably thinking now, well, if he starts breaking Psalms up into parts, we'll never finish. And that's kind of the goal. I think I will be doing the Psalms until I die. But until that day, we'll enjoy going through them together. I'm going to read Psalm 18, not the whole part, but 1 through verses 19 today. And I must say that early in my Christianity, this is perhaps one of my favorite, at least the first part is one of my favorite parts of the Psalms. And I think you're going to hear me say that about 30 times. So I think I have like 30 favorite Psalms. And I know that's 20%. Sue me. Okay. Uh, I love you, Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I called to the Lord who is worthy of praise. I have been saved from my enemies. The cords of death entangled me. The torrents of destruction overwhelmed me. The cords of the grave coiled around me. The snares of death confronted me. In my distress I called to the Lord. I cried to my God for help. From his temple he heard my voice. My cry came before him into his ears. The earth trembled and quaked, and the foundations of the mountains shook. They trembled because he was angry. Smoke rose from his nostrils. Consuming fire came from his mouth. Burning coals blazed out of it. He parted the heavens and came down. Dark clouds were under his feet. He mounted the cherubim and flew. He soared on the wings of the wind. He made darkness his covering, his canopy around him, the dark rain clouds of the sky. Out of the brightness of his presence clouds advanced, with hailstones and bolts of lightning. The Lord thundered from heaven. The voice of the Most High resounded. He shot his arrows and scattered the enemy. With great bolts of lightning he routed them. The valleys of the sea were exposed, and the foundation of the earth laid bare at your rebuke, Lord, at the blast of your breath from your nostrils. He reached down from on high and took hold of me. He drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from my powerful enemy, from my foes who were too strong for me. They confronted me in the day of my disaster, but the Lord was my support. He brought me into a spacious place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. And obviously, this is vivid language, and it's ancient language. It's almost a mythical language of God riding on clouds and thunderbolts and sending in streams of. So obviously, it's this vivid, out of the storm, God is responding. Here's what I love about this psalm. Um, I love that in the midst of the deepest trouble, and like the words are so vivid, the cords of the grave coiled around me, the snares of death confronted me, they entangled me, the torrents of destruction overwhelmed me, like real threat. And then the cry goes out, God help me, God save me. And um, I understand it's anthropomorphism, where we put human aspects onto God. That's what that means. But it's as if our cry jars God and he sees the trouble and he rushes to defend. He drops everything. He stops what he's doing. He 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 throws aside what's in front of him and he acts. He responds. He comes. He delivers. He redeems. And again, this is classic anthropomorphism in terms of how we project human attributes onto God. But I think the picture is right. I think our cries to God move the Father's heart. I think he responds. Now, not always as we would want, not always when we would want, but I think this picture is really important to have before us, that we have an active God who sees, who hears, who loves. And again, the last part of this, he brought me into a spacious place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. This is the Father's heart. So today, bring your request to God and see God moving on your behalf because he loves you. He delights in you, my friend. Grace and peace.